All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about writing a perfect job description for whatever role you want to hire for. A lot of the positions nowadays that we need to fill, they require both fulfillment and sales. And I think this is one of the biggest problems in our industry is finding the person who's actually going to be able to get your clients results and who is going to be able to sell them the best treatment plan. So we're going to start with one is the title, right? So the title is going to be what they see first, right? So if you want to hire a nurse practitioner, you want to make sure you call that out. If you want to hire an injector, you want to make sure you call that out. If you want to hire a body sculpting technician, you want to call that out because this is what they're going to relate to the most. For other more generalized roles, it may be a less specific of a title. For example, let's just say that we have an aesthetics department and we want to hire for somebody, like in my med spa, we hire for a body sculpting consultant, right? Body sculpting consultant who's going to be able to get clients results and who's going to be able to sell. So number one is going to be the title. Number two is going to be description, right? And in the description, we have key responsibilities, right? So we want to make sure when we outline these key responsibilities that when a person is reading this job description, they're going to be able to read it and say, okay, check, I can do this, I've done this, I can do this, I'm interested in this. So you want to make sure, the whole idea of actually, the whole point of the job description is to attract the right talent for your particular business and for this particular role. So you're going to say, hey, okay, check, I can do this, Grace, this relates to me. It's an honest conversation for somebody who's reading this job description to say, okay, this is going to be potentially a right role for me. I'm going to be interested in it. I have experience in this, okay? So key responsibilities, so you're setting the expectations. This is really to set expectations like, hey, here's what I'm going to do, and here's some of my expectations, like goals and targets potentially. The more quantifiable stuff you can put right here, numbers, percentages, the more you're going to be able to make sure that you attract the right people and they understand what's going on. Number three is going to be your compensation. And this is where you can, break down how you're going to compensate them. Somebody who's going to be doing only fulfillment, they usually get a fixed base. That base may be a little bit bigger than somebody who's doing sales. So you obviously want to make sure that it's market and role specific and appropriate. Those are the couple of things that you can research on other platforms as well, like Glassdoor and Indeed, just to make sure that you're competitive. But this is going to be key for also hiring. The higher the compensation, the more results and expectations do you have of this person who's going to be coming in for this role. So typically, you can do a range as well. And on this particular range, you can say, hey, depending on experience, you can make 3 to 5K base. And then you can have commission. That's going to be the 10 to 20% of sales, which is going to attract somebody who actually wants to sell. And then you can have bonuses as well. And these can be, discretionary. The more bonuses that you can throw in, the more you're going to get people who are more incentivized by this. If you're choosing to go the salary-only route, you're going to get people who are more comfortable in their roles, who just want to fulfill. If you want to get people to sell, this is where you want to be. And then your last thing is any particular qualifications, right? So, or certifications, if it needs to be in certain states, you need to be an NP or a PA or an RN to fulfill a certain role. In other states, if you're maybe looking for a body sculpting technician, maybe you want to have somebody who has a specific experience, right? Who has maybe worked at another spa or, previous sales experience is really helpful. Maybe they have a nutrition certification. So you really want to ask yourself if this person has done any of these things in the past, that means they're potentially going to be a good fit for this potential role.